I cannot seem to move past the anxiety I feel after witnessing my neighbor take his own life.
Oh, whew. McCall, you're not supposed to see that.
No.
Tell me about it.
So it was a weird situation. My family was packing up to go to an outdoor movie that our town was putting on at the time, and we had just moved there. And so I didn't even know him, but I had run inside to get a blanket. And as I was inside, I heard some commotion, some yelling, and a pop. And I immediately knew it was a gunshot. And I ran outside, and my little boy had actually seen the whole thing. He said, "That guy shot him. That guy shot him." And so
my goodness.
I had just seen a man laying on the ground, and I didn't even bother to close the front door. We all just hopped in the car and left. And so for about 15 minutes, I thought it was a murder. Yeah. And the police came with no sirens. The ambulance came with no sirens, and I was so confused. And they'd let me know that it was actually a suicide situation. And so I got myself and my son into therapy right after that. My other kids didn't really see it, but we didn't think that they needed therapy, and they're doing fine. But my son has since graduated therapy, but I can't seem to get past it.
Yeah, I think you just need to remove the phrase "get past it" from your psyche.
Okay.
This won't be something you quote unquote get past. This is something that you'll grow around and grow through. But get past suggests this thing just is in the road and you just go on down the road. And this is a part of you. It's a thing you saw. You saw something that people might see on a TV show or they can imagine. But there's a visceral reality when you hear it, when you start using your senses, when you see it, and they burn themselves into your mind and body because your body has a protective mechanism. It doesn't want that to ever happen to you. So it puts a GPS pin in that. See, don't ever let that happen. And for you, that was your home. That was your neighbor.
Yeah.
And so it electrifies the skin you live in. Right? It's not like it happened in an alley and so you don't go to dark alleys anymore. It happened at a relative's house, so you don't go to that relative's house. This happened in your yard.
Yeah.
Right? And so I think it is, the anxiety's right in that it's just trying to let you know, hey, you're not safe. Because a crazy thing happened to you. Happened to your neighbor, but you saw a crazy thing. You experienced it. And you want to add another layer of anxiousness onto that? Your kids saw it.
Yeah.
So can I unwind a few things for you?
Yes, please.
Your kids seeing that's not your fault.
Yeah.
You forgetting the blanket inside and having to go back. It's not your fault. Your kids seeing really scary, scary things is not your fault. Open your hands and let that nonsense go, okay?
Okay.
I want to flip it around and thank God Almighty that you have two little kids who have got a mother, and is dad in the picture?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Have a mom and a dad that loved them so much that immediately got them out of harm's way because you didn't know what was up or what was down. You got them into the correct professional help as soon as possible. And kids are astonishingly resilient, especially when they're anchored into connective caregivers. The old saying in counseling is kids can experience all kind of trauma. They just can't experience it alone. That's when it becomes traumatic over time.
Mm-hmm.
Your kids didn't. They had you. They had husband. They had professionals. So amen to you for being a good mom and a good dad throughout this thing. Okay?
Thank you. Thank you.
I want you to let the fault part go. And every time that story enters into your head, I want you to do something that's going to make you look crazy, okay? I want you to comically, abruptly stop that story. No. When you're in your shower and your mind kicks off to, well, you should have. Nope. And what I promise you, what you will do over time is you will begin to shift this thing. You'll shift your default setting to I should have to. Thank God I was able to. Fill in the blank. Okay. Here's number 2. What was the name of that man? Are you allowed to say?
His name was Jeremy.
Okay. I want you and your husband to write Jeremy a letter.
Okay.
You're never going to give it to him. But this is walking your body through it. It's to help you metabolize what happened. And it doesn't have to be a nice letter. Hey, man, you scared our family to death. And I'm sorry that you were struggling so much with whatever was going on. And I want you to
I haven't fully written him a letter, but I have found forgiveness. He was living with his parents, and so we actually have become friends with his parents, and like they're like second grandparents to us. So I've like kind of gotten over that anger that I felt towards him, but it's just that.
Yeah, but the fear part's still there.
Yeah.
And so what you do is you have a lot of imaginary conversations with him or about him. And your body doesn't know the difference when it's in your head. So it spins up the fight or flight as though this whole thing's kicking off again. And then it goes right back to the gurgling sounds. It goes right back to the awkward way somebody's neck cranks to like a really unnatural angle, or somebody's ankle rolls over. It, like all those little micro nuances are stuck in your soul. And when you start doing that imaginary conversation game, your body goes right back there.
Yeah.
And so we're going to metabolize it. We're going to let him go. Jeremy's a sweet kid that had a lot of demons, man. And for whatever reason that no one will ever know, what happened. But he no longer gets to live inside your head and your heart and your mind and your family's home. And so what we're going to do is we're going to write him a letter, and you're going to read yours to your husband. Your husband's going to read his to you. You're going to say it out loud. As David Kessler, who was recently on my show, said, grief demands a witness. We're going to say it out loud to each other. And you have to be honest in the letter. Hey, you scared me. I'm scared to come to my own house now. Every loud noise, I jump. But I want you to feel comfortable giving Jeremy the responsibility in this particular situation. Write it out, okay? And then we destroy the letters. We move on.
Okay.
Okay? Here's another thing I want you to metabolize, okay? That young man is no longer hurting right now. Okay?
Yeah.
He's not in pain. It's over. And it's easy for us to flinch up, like when one of our kids gets a bad cut or one of our kids bangs our head, our bodies clench, right, real tight. And when you think about him, you think about, it's easy to draw a connection to your own kids. It's easy to draw a connection to yourself and how much pain that must have been, how scary that must have been, that all that. He's not in pain anymore.
Yeah. Sorry.
No, don't be sorry. Don't be sorry. You saw some things you should never have seen. I'm so sorry.
Thank you.
Go ahead.
I feel like every coping mechanism I've been given is just kind of not getting me far enough.
Yeah, I know.
And so it's like these, like the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 stuff is just like.
Those are Band-Aids.
Yeah.
We're not doing Band-Aids. We're going right through it. We're going to go talk to Jeremy via letter.
Okay.
I'm not avoiding the conversation anymore. I'm going to abruptly stop my mind when it heads down these tracks and let my mind know I'm driving. I'm okay. You don't have to automate and protect me.
Okay.
Okay?
Yes.
As you move a little further down the road, you're going to quickly be able to scale through. It's an old CBT technique, but it's like, is that true? Every loud noise, boom, my chest gets real tight. Is that a gunshot? No. I'm going to consciously exhale. You're not there yet, but we're going to just work through those things. And here's the biggest challenge that most people who've experienced what you've experienced go through is they go to war with their body. They want their body to stop trying to keep them safe, and that's nuts. I want my body to be...
That's what I've been doing.
Yeah, your body's working perfectly. Given your biology, your genetics, this wild situation, your body's cranking along. What we want to do is teach our body, I wasn't safe then, I am safe now. And most of the time, not always, that's what great physicians are for and great psychiatrists are for. Often, your body goes, okay, cool, we're back. Tell me about your friendship circle there in your home. Or in your hometown. You have friends, you have connection. How's your marriage?
My marriage is great. We just moved. We move a lot. So, I mean, I have friends all over the country at this point,
Okay.
just not here.
Do you get to see and touch? Okay.
Yeah.
It's easier said than done, but you've got to find human beings that you can be in proximity to. It's one of the great fallacies of digital communication, these long text threads of old friends that are hilarious. They still send funny memes. We still check in with each other, still get happy birthday. All that's great and good, but your body is regulated by real people in time and space.
Yeah.
So you have to have somebody that you sit across the table from. You have to have a couple of people you have into your home for coffee. And for you, someone who moves a lot for whatever reason, that's probably a whole other phone call. That's a nightmare to get up and do it again, and then you make new friends again and make new friends agagen. That's your lot in life. I wish there was another way around it, right? It's like telling somebody, like, when you look at their budget, like, hey, you got to go make more money. Like, I don't know. You got to go get a job. Like, I hate to say that, but so your job right now is you got to go once again, new town, new home, new community, whatever. Having people back in that I can be present with, that I can drop my shoulders with, I don't have to perform with. And I know for almost everybody listening to this show right now, I read the data on loneliness. That sounds like a pipe dream. It sounds like a fantasy. It's like not real. I get that. And it doesn't exclude the fact that we have to have it. So that means we have to fight through the fantasy, put down the video game controllers, put down our lives, and the distractions in our lives, and head into life with other people. That's what we got to do. There's not another way around it. And McCall, if you write this young man a letter, and here's the goal of the letter, I'm going to let you go. I'm so sorry you were hurting this bad. I'll never know what was going on in your heart and mind. And by the way, you scared my family to death. I'm going to let him go. I'm going to let him go with my husband. I'm going to be open there. He's going to be open back. I'm going to have some friends over to the house. I'm going to check in with my kids. I'm going to check in with myself. I'm going to begin to journal, just to keep a gratitude journal. What's 3 or 4 things I'm grateful for every morning when I wake up? I'm going to begin to stop those conversations, those loops in my head. When that image of him on the ground pops into my head, I'm going to immediately, you can't stop that lightning bolt. Those pictures, those images pop in our heads. That happens. You can't immediately replace it with another picture. Nope. I got to focus on that one. Got to focus on this one. And over time, your body will go, oh, she's driving. I don't need to keep reminding her of this. Most of the time, our bodies are just trying to keep us safe. And they're working as our particular bodies and experiences in biology programmed them to. It's all good. But my job is not to avoid, it's to teach. We're safe now. We weren't safe then. We're safe now. Thank you so much for the call, McCall. Call me back anytime. I can walk alongside you. I want you to grab a book called Finding Meaning by the great David Kessler. It's the best book on grief I've ever read, ever. Check it out, and maybe you and your husband can work through that together as well.